Hello TK, welcome to your reading lesson. We're going to get started by going over our objective as we always do. Our objective tells us what we're going to learn, what we're going to be thinking about. Today's objective is I can answer questions about story details. Okay TK, so first we're going to get started on going over our story one more time, and we're going to be kind of pausing to go over our story details. So just follow along as best as you can. Here we have our front cover. In the front cover, it tells us the title. This book is called La Tortuga. We see other story details. We can see the setting here, as you figured out the other day. That is our setting, the village. I believe they said Mexico, but we can stop during the story and listen to it one more time. I can also see where La Tortuga feels safe. This is where he always goes back to, right? If you kind of remember the story. All right, if you don't, we're going to play it one more time.
La Tortuga. Once upon a time, there was a little village in Mexico. The round yellow sun was so bright there that the houses and flowers and trees seemed to dance and sparkle.
Okay, TK. I paused there because they just confirmed in the story that this is a little village in Mexico. That is our setting, where the story took place. All right, let's continue.
Everyone thought it was the prettiest village in Mexico. In the shade of the tallest tree, there was a hole. And in the hole lived the oldest animal in the village. Her name was La Tortuga. Tortuga is the Spanish word for turtle.
Okay, TK, they said another important story detail. They just told you where La Tortuga lives. Where does he live? In his hole, right? You're going to want to remember that for the end of our story.
La Tortuga was a very wise old turtle.
Go ahead and turn the page.
One fine day, La Tortuga sat in her hole. She played on her flute. Some children came by.
Okay, TK, I'm going to pause there too because they just told you what La Tortuga plays. La Tortuga plays an instrument. What is that instrument called? Can you say a flute? La Tortuga plays an instrument called the flute. This is what it looks like. Okay, back to the story. We were on page 2 and 3.
Heard her. They called, Tortuga, Tortuga. La Tortuga said, Oh? The children said, Come out of your hole, Tortuga. We want to see you. They will catch me, thought the turtle to herself. They will make me into turtle soup. So La Tortuga did not come out. She stayed in her hole and played her flute. Tortuga, Tortuga, cried the children. La Tortuga said, Oh? The children said, Please come out of your hole, Tortuga. We have something to show you.
Okay, TK, turn the page.
La Tortuga came out of her hole. The children picked her up, put her in a box, and carried her home. She will taste fine.
Okay, TK. Now we just went over another story detail. What did the children use to capture La Tortuga? A box, right? Yeah, they wanted to take her home and make what? Turtle soup. Oh no! Let's keep going.
In the soup, they said. La Tortuga did not want to be in the soup. I hope my flute can get me out of this trouble, she thought. So, inside the box, La Tortuga began to play on her flute. She played the flute until the children reached their home. Then, La Tortuga stopped playing. Tortuga, Tortuga, cried the children. La Tortuga said, Oh? Play again, Tortuga. Play again on your flute. La Tortuga said, I can play better when I dance. Ah, you should see me dance. Dance, Tortuga, dance, cried the children, and they led her out of the box. La Tortuga came out of the box and danced in a circle around the room. And all the time, she was playing on her flute. Then she stopped dancing and playing. Tortuga, Tortuga, cried the children. La Tortuga said, Oh? Go on dancing, Tortuga. Go on playing. La Tortuga said, I can dance better outside. This room is too small. So the children opened the door. La Tortuga danced out of the house.
In the page.
You dance too, La Tortuga said to the children. She began to play on her flute again. The children danced together in the yard, and La Tortuga danced around to the back of the house. Then she stopped dancing. She stopped playing. She crept away under some leaves and hid. Tortuga, Tortuga, where are you? Cried the children. La Tortuga crept further away under the leaves. She crept, crept, crept. The children couldn't find her. She crept right back to her hole. The children ran looking. They looked under the leaves. They could not find her. At last, they stopped looking. She would have made good turtle soup, they said, but we liked her music better. The next day, the children went to see if La Tortuga was back in her hole. The children called, Tortuga, Tortuga. Oh? The children were so glad to find Tortuga, they shouted, Play for us, Tortuga. We want to dance. All right, said the wise old turtle. But this time, I will stay in my hole. But the children did not want to catch La Tortuga anymore. They were happy just to dance to her music. So La Tortuga lived happily ever after.
Good job, TK. That is the end of our story. Go ahead and close your book. Now I want you to go to the back of your book. We are going to be looking at this page together. This is where you will be answering your questions about story details. Once you're on the back of your mini book, you will be using a yellow crayon to go ahead and underline your responses. Your first question is going to be for your red dot column. This is where I want you to underline, where did La Tortuga live? Once you are done finding that answer, you're going to go down to your blue dot. In this section, this row, I want you to underline with your yellow crayon, what instrument did La Tortuga play? Good job. Now go ahead and go to your yellow dot. This row, this is where you're going to tell me, what did the children use to capture La Tortuga? And the last question is our blue flower. This row, this is where you're going to tell me what happened at the end of our story. What happened at the end? Go ahead and underline it. Awesome job, TK. Once you are done completing your questions, you're going to go ahead and take a picture and submit it on Class Dojo. Thank you. Have a good Wednesday.